Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line, and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened one. So dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, as usual, we'll take few minutes to understand how this practice can help for us to develop our inner awareness and how it can help for us to cultivate our profitable skills. So practicing meditation is give a deeper discipline for our body and mind to settle down and integrate and have a best communication. We are capable to have a connection and communicate with outside world, but mostly we fail when it comes to inside us. But practicing meditation is bring that and uplift that field and bring the connection to inner awareness. So it's a kind of like a evolution for yourself. Why? Because each and every moment that you give to practice and develop a kind of a skill in you, and it deeply transforms. Maybe it is a 1 second, but it start to develop a deeper transformation in you and bring a change to you. So by the time, you are the one who going to get the benefit out of it, because our own change is the most important thing. We are, as you know, our body go through habitual patterns, and the mind has its own habitual patterns. And even this outside world, when it comes to the communities, families, nations, and it comes to the whole world, it's go kind of like through the patterns. Then it is very difficult to bring a change. Why? Because when everything functions according to the patterns, how you can bring a change to yourself? So that's why the practicing is kind of like you go against the current. That doesn't mean you fight with it, but it's come as a deeper understanding. And when it comes to that deeper understanding, and what you gain, you start to have a very realistic world view regarding for yourself and regarding others. That is very important. The realistic view, because we can have many kind of views, especially the most powerful thing is our self-centered view. And the self-centered view come as a result of self-centered mind. So the self-centered mind come as a result of misperception and misinformation, and as a result of misinterpretation. So once we come to this realistic view, deeply what happens, your self-centered view start to transform, and it start to kind of like tune to very meaningful way of life. And as a result of that, what happened, you bring the openness. You start to open your awareness. That openness, so another way that the meaningfulness means, it's a kind of like expand the capacity. When something, when you say meaningless, it shrink your awareness or the mind or understanding. So when you say something meaningful, that's mean it's open and expand your awareness, the mind, consciousness, you can name this all, or the recognition. So deeper practice bring this meaningfulness to yourself. That's mean rather than shrinking, it allows you to open. Because in day-to-day life, just imagine, most of time during the day, out of our bodily, verbally, mentally actions, and we shrink. So that's mean it's meaningless. Our lifestyle most of time meaningless. That's why it's shrinking nature happening. But here, out of meditation or out of any kind of profitable practice, you bring this openness and expand your mental capacity. So when you expand this mental capacity, what happens? When you expand, you recognize your own behavior is kind of like the creator of your own life. Not the, of course, we depend from the environment, food, and other people. But still deeper, there is a connection to your own action. So you understand your action define your future. If I put it to another simile, it's kind of like, as you know, the person who live by sword, die by sword. So that's mean, whatever the lifestyle you develop, it creates your future according to that. So you understand it. And once you understand it, what will happen? You become more and more and more focused to your bodily, verbally, mentally action. Why? Because you know those actions not going to just become one-way actions. It will start to bring some kind of reactions, result. So once you become very careful, what happened? By the time you become very conscious regarding the little things that you perform, and the smaller things around you with your bodily, verbally, mentally actions, you become more better. And you become more better knowingly these little things accumulating little by little its nature and create your entire tomorrow. So that's another way you tune to the causality. cause and effect. It is not something different. It is not beyond you, but it is not exactly you as who you are today. You recognize, and according to the moment of the action, you're going to create your next moment. That is the wisdom. So when it comes to the tranquility meditation, another way is you start to perform. It's kind of like a getting better with the little things knowingly, consciously, by the time that little things become your major. So once you have that, you're always going to be focused. And then we become focused to the around you, little things separately. So when it comes to observing inhalation, exhalation, this is inhalation, this is exhalation, this is the beginning, the middle, the end. This is long, short, heavy, soft. So this, you go to details one by one, one by one. You become very mindful with the little things. And that ability, so that is very necessary. Once you have that ability, it gives a wisdom, the causality, cause and effect. You understand, oh, I experienced this process as a result of these little things function separately. And when it comes to that understanding, it itself creates a kind of like a emptiness in you. That emptiness means you don't take that. The whatever the perception come to you, you don't take it as concrete, permanent thing, because you know that major thing appear as a result of little things. And another way, you touch the relativity. So when you come to that emptiness and relativity and understanding, you become more mindful about the very silence, mute things around you. Why? Because you know that mute space, that silence space, or the things around you, deeply giving ability to everything to come together. That deeper awareness regarding even the very silence, mute things around us, and bring the full awakened consciousness. And it's completely, you experience the moment. There's nothing that you miss. So when it comes to that moment, you deeply into the moment, and each and every corner you recognize, but still you're not bound to that. So when it comes to that consciousness, there are three kind of way that we experience this perception. So one way of experience is the perception we take as a very permanent. When we see something, we see exactly, oh, I saw that, it is exactly there like that. That's a kind of like a misperception. When I see the pen, I take it as a permanent pen because I experience this. Look, I can touch it, I can see it, and even I can bite it, smell it. So then this is experience, this is real, permanent. Some people take it as a permanent experience. And some people experience it as nothing, not permanent. You see it, but still you're not going to stop on the layer of what you perceive. You have ability to go through this rather than stopping on it, because when you stop on it, it helps you to take this as permanent. That's how even the physics or the science, when they got kind of like when they come to the way they explain that ultimacy, what is the ultimate thing in the world, that way they divide, and then finally, when they come to the place that which they can't divide something and stop there, hold it to that, they think that is the bottom line. So that's why it's kind of like the atom. They come to the place, that is the end. But that end is something. It is not that, because if it is something, it is not the end. But when we have no ability to go beyond it, we take it as the end. So like then, if you have the ability to go through it, then you don't take this as the end. Then you don't take this as the permanent. So that is the second way of perceiving things. And the third way of perceiving things is kind of like you experience it, and at the same time, you don't experience it. You see this, at the same time, you don't see this. You know it is there, but at the same time, you know it is not there. It's kind of like a drunken person. And sometimes, if we take the wall as the example, the very first person, when they perceive things, they think that the wall is the end. And the second person has ability to know when they see the wall, and to know there is something behind it. And then even though they see the wall, they're not going to hold it to that as permanent. And the third person, they see the wall, but at the same time, they don't see. That's why sometimes drunken people try to go through walls. And they know it, but still, they try to go through. So those are three kind of the experience we gain out of the perception. Ordinary person has the ability to perceive the first and the third one, the way. When the perception happens, we take as permanent, or sometimes it is there, it is not there. The second way of experience happens when you deeply get into the vipassana level, and when you develop the ability to go through, that is where you deeply gain that. Intellectually, we have this ability. As example, when you see the mirror, so you know it, that it's the reflection, but you see it, but you don't, what you see, you don't take as permanent, but you see it, but you know it is your reflection. But how about the sometimes animals, dog, cat, monkey? When they see, they try to attack to the mirror, believing that there is another dog or the cat or the monkeys that other side, that its own reflection take as a separate thing. But for us, we know, even though we see, we know there is nothing. And when we drive the vehicle through the mirrors, side mirrors, we see there is something keep coming behind us. But we know it is not on the mirror, it's behind me. And sometimes we know even that what it say, whatever the object you see more may be more closer than the appear on the mirror or like that. And maybe you see it's there, it sometimes, even though it look like far, maybe it is very close. So like that, intellectually we have this ability. But the thing is this, when it comes to our own life, as a person, we develop a personality on identity with the character related to self-centered mind. And even though we know that character changed by the time, and still we take, there is somebody. It's a permanent. It's I am. And sometimes you may heard that, sometimes people say, don't make me angry. Why you make me sad? Don't give me a hard time. Sometimes people say. So when you say, don't make me angry, so that means that the person you hold as who you are, possible to change. See that but still, we don't want to accept that. It's a part of change. Still, even though we know it, we say it, we experience it, but still we develop an idea on it, believing is permanent. So through when you practice meditation, especially in the beginning, tranquility meditation, and then by the time you get into the depth and that ability, bring the recognition to yourself, through that experience, bring the recognition to yourself. The moment you experience, even though it is that the body, the mind is everything, there is no completely permanent, concrete, unchangeable self. That is what we have done. Of course, there's self. That's why we practice like this. But we have to come to a point to understand it is not permanent. It's change. And it change also, it's conditioned by something. It is not, can appear itself. It not separate from other things. It's not isolated. Something like that. It appear as a result of our own experience, not from separate from the experience. So once you have that ability, so in the beginning, you become very careful, simplify little by little things and separately recognize it. That is tranquility. And then deeply, by the time you understand, when you go a little bit more closer, you understand this everything come together as a result of cause and effect. And once you have that ability, you recognize the very moment of experience, give the recognition. And then you understand the very moment of experience change. And when the recognition comes as a result of that, that also change. So then the moment of experience change, and at the same time experience a change. So once you have this understanding, you're not bound to, you're not clinging to very moment of becoming. So that itself give the opportunity to release. Because once you have that higher level of experience, anymore you're not going to go to this lower level of grasping, holding, clinging, harboring with permanent idea. Or even within yourself or with the things that whatever you experience. Even though you have things around you and you start to come to perform your bodily, verbally, mentally actions according to the necessary environment, and then you behave according to how things come to be as they are. You are there, but without any concrete, self-centered, permanent identity. And then out of that experience and the experiencer, there is nothing going to be permanent, and that itself is the moment of emptiness. Because there is no, even as a thoughts, there is nothing that you're going to permanently develop something in your mind. When the mind becomes released from that, there is no way that matter or the material things can challenge to your mind. But once the mind comes with the ideas, with the permanent, self-centered, concrete identity, it has power. By the time to manifest in this material world. So then remember yourself, practicing meditation give deeper access to your inner, this behavior, and release it moment by moment, moment by moment. It is not in the deeper level, it is not going to happen intellectually. It's just become experience, and through experience, your recognition itself bring the ability to tune to that level of existence. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit. So your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring attention to your body, please, and observe head to toes. And say Sopateva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. So take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalations. So in the beginning, deeply and gently breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. When it happens, recognize inhalation as inhalations, exhalations as exhalations. Do nothing extra. Just allow everything to settle down as it is. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away. Already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward, visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion. From the bottom of it with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata chammi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddhang pujemi dhammang pujemi sanghang pujemi Addaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadhi maranam ha paribunjissami Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahan hotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Bless you.